Welcome back to the Strength and Spine YouTube channel. We are coming to you from Manchester, United Kingdom. We have two big events coming up this week. We are hosting our Scoliosis Strength Weekend Intensive, where we're going to teach scoliosis exercises as well as strength training exercises to a group of 12 people with scoliosis or spinal fusion. We are so excited to meet everyone. And then next weekend, we are attending a conference about pain science. All of the latest research on pain. How does our brain influence pain? How does chronic pain develop? And what strategies can we use to help people who are in pain? So we are so excited to be here. We had a pretty long trip to get here. We flew into London and then we took the train and taxi and all that to get here in Manchester. It's our first time in Manchester, so we'll be giving you some tour of our day-to-day as well as a sneak peek into those two events. So make sure you watch the whole video to get all of the info and all of the new things that we learn on this trip. Today we completed the first day of our Scoliosis Strength Intensive. So today we taught everyone about their curves. We worked a lot on scoliosis specific exercises in different positions, using propping, using padding, and using rotational breathing to help get in the most neutral alignment. So today was really nice because we had a great group of people with many different curve types. We had Coach Tiffany here with us helping out at the event, and we got to meet some really awesome people with scoliosis. So first day in the bag. Tomorrow we're going to teach all of the strength training exercises, so teaching people how to weight train in their postural correction. So we will come back and tell you more about that tomorrow. I don't know how I'm still alive. I didn't really sleep last night, but we had a really amazing day, the second day of our Scoliosis Strength Intensive here in Manchester. Today was our weight training day, so we went through all the weight training exercises that we like to teach with scoliosis corrections in mind. It was great to see how people at different levels of weight training, from people who are just starting out to people who are doing weight training as part of their competition for like bodybuilding shows, we were able to modify for all different levels and see people all participate at whatever level that they can access with their scoliosis. It was nice to see everybody form bonds and friendships and really be in a room with other people like themselves. And that's why I really love doing these intensive workshops, because it's not only about learning the exercises, but also finding the community of people who are motivated, who are ready to take control, who are excited to get started with exercise specific to helping their scoliosis for the long term. It was great. It was literally a dream come true for me to be able to have the opportunity to meet people, to do these events, and to teach people about my passion, which is weight training with scoliosis. So fortunate to have Coach Tiffany here with us helping out. And of course, Travis, my partner in crime, my office manager, my tag team partner for life. We are going to have dinner with the rest of the Strength and Spine team, with Tiffany and her husband. So we're excited for that. We will see you on our next update.
Perfect.
Catching you up on our adventures here in Manchester. So we are spending some time between wrapping up our Scoliosis Strength Intensive and then going to the pain conference. So we've been getting in some time at the gym, catching up on work, and then we went to a nice tea time lunch at Lucky Cat, which is one of Gordon Ramsay's restaurants. It was really nice. And then I taught Travis about Thomas Crapper, because they had an original Thomas Crapper toilet. Thomas Crapper was a plumber. He owned a plumbing company here in the UK, and that's where the name of like people call the toilet a crapper comes from. So now Travis has learned all about that. Tomorrow we're going into London, so we'll have some adventures there. We're going to see a show, and then we'll go have a tea time in London. Got to try out all the tea times. I'm sure we'll have much more to talk about once we go to the pain conference and gather some of the new research and information there. I'm literally joining you from reclining on the couch because I am so tired. We had a great day yesterday. We went down to London. We had a nice tea time at Fortnum and Mason. This is Travis' favorite tea time ever, so we went there. Then we went to see a fantastic play. We saw End of the Rainbow with Jinx Monsoon playing Judy Garland. We sat in the front row. She was incredible, amazing. Like, oh, her acting, her singing, everything was so good. We loved it. The theater was great. We loved it all. It was amazing. It was amazing. We walked so much. I think we were up in the at least 12,000 steps. So we bought a lot of protein powder. We had to combine them to try to like minimize the space that they take up in our bags, but we are stocked. We are pretty stocked because they have different flavors here in the UK, which we can't get in the US. So we want to try some new flavors. And I think the flavors here are honestly better than US ones. The US ones are, even though it's the same company, they're like so sweet. They're like disgustingly sweet. They don't have vegan clear protein powders, which Travis is allergic to whey, so he has to drink the vegan ones. What's cool about the clear protein, if you're trying to get your protein up higher, which we recommend for many of our clients to help them build muscle, the clear protein tend to have more like juice flavors or like iced tea. I have like a fruit juice flavor. I got like a strawberry kiwi one. We can put a link in the description to the company that we usually order from. We start the pain conference tomorrow. It's going to be a long day. And honestly, I didn't notice this when we were in London, but here in Manchester, like it never gets dark here. Like it is, we're recording this at like 9:20 at night. It's not dark outside. Travis will put a picture here, but it's crazy. I sleep in like pitch black darkness. But hopefully we'll get some good sleep tonight, and then we will have some really nice insights tomorrow from the pain conference starting up tomorrow. This is probably just a very funny looking video of me lying down on the couch, but I hope you all enjoy it. I mean, this is very, I think, representative of like what a day in the life of scoliosis can be, that I am recording a vlog from lying down on the couch to rest my body. Today was my birthday. Recap of day one of the Pain Science Conference presented by NOI Group. We'll share a link to them in the description. Their courses are always fantastic, and they're really on the cutting edge of research for pain science education, which is a very special interest of mine. So I'm very excited that we get to be here. Today's theme was learn, and that was about learning what's new on the cutting edge of pain science, how our bodies interpret pain, how the systems of our body process pain. It was very interesting because we kind of went through the history of how we used to think pain was, where we thought pain was a sign of tissue damage. And now we understand more that pain is a protector, right? So pain is protecting us from injuring tissues or maybe putting too much load on tissues. But the problem is sometimes we can have pain that is too protective, and we can have chronic pain and pain that goes on for periods of time beyond when the tissues have already repaired themselves. And I think many of us with scoliosis struggle with that. So there were some really good tools and some interesting information to apply to that. There was so much for day one. So I hope that we gave you a good summary there, and we will be back tomorrow with more information from day two. We are home from day two.
We're not home.
We are back from day two of the Pain Science Conference. And I have Travis here with me. For those of you who don't know Travis, my husband, my office manager, my tag team partner for life. And he's here because he actually did also attend the conference with me. So he's going to also give his insight. I'm going to say day two was very clinician facing. So I don't know that we're going to have a ton of takeaways from that. There's a few things we'll mention. So I think the big takeaway that we wanted to mention from day one was the lecture from the researcher named Anne about how people learn and how much relationships can affect how they interpret pain.
And also perceptions of pain. I think the biggest one that people probably could understand is she gave this example of somebody that was like doing yoga. I'll use my hand as like the person's body. If this is you standing upright. Like if you're doing a yoga pose where you're literally bent completely forward, that your chest was touching your legs and you injured yourself, your body makes this association with this equals pain. If you don't maybe have pain education, that this is the pattern that hurt you.
Right. When our brain interprets something as pain, there are many inputs that are making that interpretation. And it's not always like something broke in the body, so there's pain.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but my interpretation also was that your brain is not the thing that's necessarily perceiving the pain. Pain is something that your body experiences. It's not something that the brain experiences and then tells the body about.
Correct. The brain is processing signals coming from the body that it predicts or kind of interprets as a painful signal. And as with anything, when our brain practices something, it can get better at it and it can form relationships related to. So sometimes our brain can start to form relationships around pain that make our bodies more sensitive. So really this conference was talking more about people who have persistent pain, people who have had pain more than 3 months, people who have pain beyond any recovery period of a damaged tissue or an issue, like an injury.
Well, I want to come back to that example too, right? Of the bend of you injured yourself here, and then you make this connection with that forward bend is the cause of pain. So then you start to avoid any forward bend. So like maybe you try not to bend this much, but then that can over time, because you make this association, that range of what's acceptable with the forward bend can get further and further away from actually being that forward bend, to the point where you can almost start to bend backwards because you associate any forward bend with pain, to the point where you're going completely the other way.
Right. And in that scenario, when you initially have pain, that's actually protective, right? That's your body. You have injured a tissue, let's say, or you're getting close to injuring a tissue. So the pain comes on to say, hey, don't injure this area. And then the pain lingers to tell you, hey, we're healing this area. Don't put more strain on it. And that's where people start to run into issues where they stop exercising, they avoid different movements, they can never rebuild that tissue that was injured and is now healing itself.
I think my biggest takeaway from all of this is there has to be more education towards pain, not just towards clinicians, but also for patients, clients as well. And it's kind of our job, and when I say our job, I mean her job, to better explain pain and pain science to the individual and try to individualize that education, because everybody learns differently. It could even be the situation of what was going on when the pain happened. Maybe you just had a fight with a family member, or you were just in a space that was like uncomfortable, right? Like I have issues with like auditory, right? Like a lot of sound and things like that. It could be something completely external.
Right. And this is something important that I mentioned with clients when they're working with us and maybe they have a pain flare up. Usually the first thing I ask is not like, did you do a weird movement? Did you injure something? It's what was different this week? Were you more stressed? Did you have a lot of things going on? Was the environment weird? Did something happen at work? And oftentimes it's actually not something physical that started the flare up. It's something environmental, it's something social, it's something that is putting the stressor on them. There's so many factors that can influence pain. And that's why it's very hard and people want to know, but what is causing my pain? What's the exact thing? What's the structure? What's the disc? What's the joint that's causing my pain? Or like our bodies are changing all the time.
You got to find your notebook and get that line that,
Yes. Let's repeat it.
Let's repeat it.
Change is inevitable. The direction of the change is not, meaning that we have the tools to potentially turn that change into a positive. We used to say change is possible. No, change is inevitable. It is the trajectory of the pain that we can influence.
We have been programmed to experience pain as a warning, as a signal that something is going on. There was another study I'll talk about very quickly, where essentially I watch Beth do an activity and she makes a painful face. My brain, my body is going to make an association that this person did this activity that causes pain. And then if you even attempt to try it, your body might just send a pain signal because it realizes I'm doing this thing that I've already pre-associated with pain, even without input from you.
I see that a lot too in some of the support groups, message boards, et cetera, with scoliosis, like can be really nice to have the support, but also can be a negative to someone saying, oh, I tried weight training, I had pain. I tried Schroth, I had pain. I tried this, I had pain. You're already going into something with maybe
predisposition,
like a negative to say like, oh, maybe I can't do this thing. So I think a big takeaway for people with scoliosis or spinal fusion that are struggling with pain, ongoing pain, persisting pain for many years, is that you have to kind of find what we say is a sweet spot or a middle point where you're doing enough that you can help to adapt the tissues, right? And help to make yourself stronger, but you're not doing too much that you push yourself into a flare-up or you go off the rails, but you're also not doing too little that you're not getting anywhere at all.
And I think a good example of that for fitness, for movement, for kind of what we focus on, right, is if you have a weight and you're doing 50 reps, you're doing bicep dumbbell curls, and you're doing 100 of them, and you feel no pump, you feel no effort, then that's not enough. But if you pick up the biggest dumbbell that's in the gym and try to like lift it, then that's too much, right? And you have to find the in-between of that. And like, what is that? But that's also going to be very for the individual as well.
Right. And many people ask me, well, how do I find that sweet spot? Well, one great way would be to have a coach help you do that, right? To have some guidance, but not everybody has that access. If you do need help with that, that's something we can help you with. Another way is to kind of monitor how you feel with things, right? So if you're doing activity like a workout or something and you have a little bit increase in pain, but it goes away, that might be a good level to work at, right? Like it's normal to have some muscle soreness. It's not normal to be in a flare-up the next day where you have to spend the whole day lying down or not do much at all, but it's challenging initially to find that balance. But once you do, and you really get going, and then once you have that sweet spot, you start to increase little by little.
It takes a lot of time. That's why we work with our clients for 6 months, and typically we work for them longer than that.
Absolutely. But the cool thing is when you see it click, right? When we have those clients who trust the process, right? Like they know it's going to be difficult. They're motivated to put in the work. When they get there, it's like, oh my gosh. Like we had a client recently that said to us, we worked together for 6 months. And the first few months, she's like, don't think it's working. Don't think it's happening. And then month 5 came around and she was like, oh, wow, Like, I feel totally different. Yeah, so some really cool takeaways from the conference. I hope that it's helpful for people to hear this information and also to feel validated that you're not alone, but there's always that potential for change.
Change is inevitable.
Change is inevitable. The trajectory is not.
I know you wanted to end it there, but I'm also going to add, this is long, just this recap that we did. If there's interest, we might just sit down when we're back home in the US and just like do a whole big debrief on the entire thing, because we're trying to recap 3 8-hour days of lecture.
There were so many good little takeaways that we can't squeeze in.
Impossible.
If you want us to elaborate more on this, let us know in the description and we can release in the comments, because I don't know how YouTube works. We can release little snippets. Maybe we'll call them like Scully Pain Talks.
Yeah.
Something like that.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye. A really great day. A lot of thoughts about how we can connect with our clients, how as a person with persistent pain, you can connect with your environment, your social structure, nature. All these things can be so important in terms of the healing journey. But I think we wanted to specifically talk about a lecture that was actually about knee arthritis.
Yeah.
I think we can draw a lot of parallels to scoliosis, spinal conditions, and things like that. So the lecture talked about how people think of knee osteoarthritis as an entity, meaning I have this bone on bone, I have this imaging on my x-ray, I have this bad report, and therefore I should be in pain, or therefore I have all these problems. But similar to what we see with scoliosis, people can have very moderate, very severe knee osteoarthritis and really have no pain or no symptoms, in the same way that people can have very severe scoliosis curves and have no pain or no symptoms. So the lecture was kind of describing knee osteoarthritis as not so much just an entity as one thing, but a process. And that process includes some chronic low-grade inflammation of the knee joint, which is more what we think kind of knee osteoarthritis really is. Yeah. And I think we could probably draw parallels to how sometimes when we have pain with scoliosis, it might be because of some small inflammation of the discs or the joints between the spine or things like that. But that doesn't mean that we have that all the time. That is something that can change and can come and go. They're also talking about how people think, well, if I have, quotes, wear and tear because of the arthritis, then maybe I should avoid exercise. But actually, a lot of the research was stating that exercise is actually beneficial to regain cartilage, to get the joint moving better, and actually people who are more active tend to have less pain.
Actually, if you're using those things, you're probably building up strength and stability in them, and rather than using those things and that breaking down the area. So like if you're using your knee joints and moving that area with the cartilage, you're probably actually building strength as opposed to reducing it.
Right. They were saying that was a question from clients, like that these therapists were getting, is loading the knee a bad thing? And actually loading the knee, the research shows that when you load the cartilage, it actually can get stronger. And when you load the muscles, they're going to get stronger, and that helps to reduce pain. And I've seen, we unfortunately don't have these studies in scoliosis, but when we look at studies of the spine done in like a typical population without scoliosis, for example, runners actually can improve their discs by running because it loads the disc in a way that helps to strengthen the disc. So actually loading our spine, loading the discs, loading the vertebra are good things. Of course, it has to be done in a way that matches the person where they're at. Yeah. And in a way,
sweet spot.
that finding that sweet spot, like we talked about on yesterday's video, you can't just go from doing nothing at all to putting a barbell on your back, right? You have to build up gradually so you know you're doing it with the right form. But I think there's been a lot of miscommunication, a lot of misinformation to people with scoliosis to never load their spine. Many of us are women with scoliosis. It's important for us to keep our bones and our bone density really strong. And we know that weight bearing and weight training exercises are one of the best ways to do that. Things can improve. And many people do experience that when they kind of have the right routine and the right sweet spot.
Yeah.
There was also some good talk about reducing inflammation and how that relates to pain, right? There's a lot of things you can do to improve and reduce inflammation in your body, like avoiding processed foods, making sure you're getting enough sleep, eating enough protein. So even if you're not able to maybe do things specific for your scoliosis right now, there's a lot that you can do to just improve your overall health. So I would say that was the big takeaway from today. There was so much more at this conference, like we said, and probably we'll upload some more videos, but just wanted to give you an idea. We are pretty much packing up, getting ready to come home. The pups have been picked up. My parents have them, so we'll see them tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in to this video. Make sure that you like and subscribe to keep updated on upcoming videos, more education about exercising with scoliosis, of course, supported by evidence and research. And we'll see you on our next video.